Welcome to ModelWorks, a proven approach to implementing, converting, or improving your supply chain environment. In 1993, Apex magazine reported that 81% of surveyed manufacturing and distribution organizations were receiving minimal to only average returns on their information technology investments. Unless your company has utilized ModelWorks, you are probably still experiencing low returns on your information technology investment.
The critical thing that differentiates it is it establishes a vision of where the customer is going to before they start. So instead of getting started down a road and then trying to figure it out when they move down, they have a pretty good idea of what they're doing before they get into their major investments.
Today, more than ever, manufacturers are faced with the challenge of change, and these changes are complex because they impact more than one department or process. The keys to implementing a complex change are a shared vision of the results, end state, and a process to move to this end state. We built ModelWorks from the ground up, addressing these two key issues. A core team of key users and ModelWorks personnel developed the end state using a model. This model combines physical representation with enterprise software to prove the viability of the concepts. The process takes a number of iterations through which the team develops consensus and builds commitment. As a manufacturer or distributor, it is critical to adopt new techniques and technologies to compete in this fast-changing world. Maintaining status quo is no longer an option. However, the situation normally doesn't improve as soon as we implement change. It usually gets worse. Why? The change increases the workload on an already busy organization, and most of us resist change if we don't have a clear vision of where it is leading. With ModelWorks, a small group develops a clear definition of the change before the organization commits major resources. Buy-in by the user community is created through modeling the change before the live implementation. The results are reduced pain and faster gain. Some of the many benefits of ModelWorks are clearly defined results, project focus, user buy-in, customer-specific education, documented business case, reduced total investment, faster implementation, more effective education, reduced resource requirements, eliminate unnecessary investments, fewer surprises, and high success probability.
First thing we really need to do is to really iron out the real issues in your company, understand what you're trying to do, net out where your real opportunities are.
The first step at the top of our process funnel is the initial review, which includes an architect's review of your present state, a report on your current situation, opportunities, risks, and concept model design, and the decision whether to continue or not. The next step in the funnel is the concept model.
In the concept model, what we're trying to do is just prove the concepts that were highlighted in the initial review. Okay, so what we're going to do now is the first run of the concept model, which we call the chicken test. And our objective is to make sure that the whole model will flow right. Remember, what we're doing here is looking at what the plant's going to go like in a just-in-time or continuous flow compared to the batch manufacturing we're using right now. The script for this run, we're going to do a physical inventory, run MRP, then third thing we'll do is print the schedules, give the vendor release documentation out, we'll run the line, then we're going to do a physical inventory again to prove that the transactions all work properly, and we're going to review the issues that come up. We've already actually done the physical inventory, so we can tick that off. We've done the MRP run. Rick and Bill did that earlier. The schedules are printed, and the vendor release is done. So where we're at in this script now is we're going to run the plant. What Rick will do is explain to everybody what their jobs are in running the plant. Remember, when we do this, if any problems come up or any issues, we don't want to stop the run. We want to say, that's an issue, and Rick will put that up on the issue sheet.
Bill, you'll be doing the final assembly, and you'll be using this timer to simulate the actual cycle time of final assembly in the plant. So what I want you to do is when you go to make an assembly, press the button, you'll get a red light. During that time you can assemble a product, but you can't assemble another final assembly until the green light comes on again. Let's go. Let's run the plant. Start a show.
The concept model is an interactive process undertaken with your team to move beyond the discussion stage to physical simulation of the impact of new ideas and new systems on your business activities. Through the use of the active physical model and the structured ModelWorks process, your team will be in a better position to confirm or discard options before major investments in time and resources are made.
You waiting for parts, Bill?
You bet.
How would we articulate that? Let's just say
Time chassis assembly.
what you could do, because what we were doing all day today was making the same part. You could have put one transaction in for the 45 instead of for each container. So maybe next run we'll do that, okay?
Alrighty, so those are the main issues that came up, but I think it ran really well. For a chicken test, that was good. It ran. Out of the concept model, we had 3 things that we wanted to get. One was a proof of concept, which meant there are no major things in front of us that are unproven. So there's no, boy, if we could only do this, this would be great, but we'll figure that out when we get there. You can't do that in ModelWorks, so you have to come out of the concept model knowing there's nothing that you can't do. The other 2 elements of it, you have to have a business case that proves the financial viability of the vision or the concept. And the third thing you need is an implementation plan of how you would move from the end of the concept model to the complete implementation of that model in a real live environment. If we decide to go ahead at that point, the next step would be the implementation model. This is the 6th run of our implementation model. And after 5 runs of the concept model and 6 runs of the implementation model, we shouldn't have a lot of issues. Our main objective today is to make sure that everything works right. It's our final system test, and that we have the framework that we need to do the training with. So 2 key objectives: final system test, training evaluation. Script should have this burned in our brains now. Physical inventory, the EDI releases, and an MRP run. We're going to print the schedules, run the line, do a physical inventory. We all have our procedures on the table, so any questions? Let's do it, and then hopefully we can sign this off at the end of the run.
It's like, buzzword, inventory accuracy, get it up to 95% accurate. Well, what does that look like? In ModelWorks, they can see what it looks like. The key element in this whole thing is your users now, the people that are out there on the floor buying into the process, they're part of the change. And that is just so critical to your company, is getting those people to come along with you to make that change, to improve that inventory flow and the accuracy. Right now, if they knew how to do it, they'd be doing it.
In the middle of developing the implementation model, we're also doing 2 other things. One is developing the procedures. So there's a side activity that's going on that will start with very broad procedures and add more details to them. Every time we do a model run, we'll fill the procedures a little bit more detailed. So by the end of the implementation model, we have a full set of operating procedures that will be used by the users once they go live. The other thing that's being done at that time is developing the training tools that will be used to train the major masses of people after the implementation model is done.
At the conclusion of the implementation model, a cutover plan is developed by the team based on the model. Users are then trained on the model using the procedures developed during the modeling process. The model becomes the basis for implementing the system in your live environment. A post-implementation review confirms that objectives have been met and that the model has been implemented successfully. The commitment of company resources in the ModelWorks process is an important consideration. It is designed to reduce your company's involvement in the early stages. A core team of your key users and ModelWorks personnel will develop the end state through the concept model. This process takes a number of iterations through which the team develops consensus and builds commitment. As we move into the implementation model, procedures and training materials are developed. At this time, more users will be exposed to help test and improve the model. When we are ready to do the final training and start the live implementation, all users affected by the change will be involved. They will be trained using actual procedures developed during the modeling process.
If you feel that you need to make some significant changes in your business, then I would suggest you take a hard look at the ModelWorks process to define and implement the change.